Hello and welcome to Om Shanti Healing's podcast, The Spiritual Connection. My name is Jill. I have been in the healing arts since 2008, self-employed, helping people with physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic issues. I have learned a lot over the years of doing healing work, and now I'm ready to share with the masses. I hope you do enjoy my podcast. Subscribe below if it feels good to you, and let's get rolling. Hello, and welcome to episode 10. In this episode, we're going to talk about why you may struggle with manifesting and how to get in the zone to create some cool stuff in your life. The fact is that many people do struggle to manifest what they want. A number of people can think of what they want and it magically appears in their life. And doesn't this irritate the crap out of you? What is their secret, right? Why hasn't anyone told you the secret formula to creating the life that you want? It seems like there's this special secret recipe out there that no one is telling you, right? And they get all the things and you don't, and it sucks. Well, yeah, it is super frustrating, and yeah, it does irritate you, but the way they see the world is very different than the ones that cannot create. I too sucked at manifesting when I first discovered that it was a thing. I thought it was an elusive partner that I was just far enough away from to reach. It was contributing only to my internal feelings of failure and inferiority. Just one more thing in my life that perpetually rejected me and refusing to cooperate with me. When I began to visualize and practice this new technique in my mind, there was a place of lack and desperation in the background. I tried to manifest my life into exactly what I wanted because I heard on YouTube and Instagram and all the things that was possible. I'm like, I want that. My asks were huge. There was a lot of changes that I wanted. There was a sense of urgency, and I was just full of anxiety around that urgency and wanting things to shift immediately. My head would spin with more and more ideas of the changes that I wanted to make, and they just piled onto each other one after another, and that pile got pretty big. Each quiet moment I gave to this manifesting effort was a whirlwind of asks and chaos in my head. Externally, I was quiet. Yes, I sat in my meditation space. I set an intention to be really focused, but the amount of noise that was in my head, kind of rambling away and shouting out all that I wanted, it was so loud, inevitably, nothing changed. I sat day in and day out for the universe to save me, put so much effort into creation that I actually burnt out on meditating. And I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, it was for me. I did burn out. And yes, you can happen to all of us if you get addicted to it, right? If there's so much urgency and desire to change, nothing else has worked in your life. You try to manifest so hard that you burst a blood vessel. Yeah, nothing's going to shift for you, okay? See, I was doing all of this so completely wrong. Manifesting is a powerful tool, and it does work. But my mind and my thoughts were so extremely out of alignment that absolutely nothing changed. Well, I got pissed about it. I got frustrated about it. I lost hope and I lost faith in anything up there, divine source, universal, infinite love and space that was supposed to be saving me, right? It didn't. I lost it. I lost that connection. Nothing out there in the cosmos wants to help me. That's more rejection, even from infinite source that was supposed to love me unconditionally, was rejecting me. I lost complete momentum. More feelings of defeating self-worth and failure. More of the same disappointing outcomes. So I gave up on giving it any more effort. I thought, this is total bullshit. People that claim this is a real thing are lying. all the spirituality and manifesting and yoga and connection and crap that I was learning. It's all a bunch of BS. And it just made me more and more angry. I've read so many books and shit's still not working. Okay? So what do? I burn out. I had to step away. I was just so upset by the lack of result that I gave up and I took a break, which was probably the best thing that I could have done, because my head was completely in the wrong place for what I was trying to get out of it, right? So did some more researching and I came about a man that is named Joe Dispenza. Most of you woohoos out there know who he is. He is a nationally recognized neuroscientist that has spent his career studying the power of mindset, manifesting healing, and manifesting whatever the hell you want, as long as your head is in the right place. I was immediately pulled into his words in his books. I had renewed hope. He had 3 books out at that time, and I sucked them in like as fast as I could, just seeking answers. I wanted the formula, right? I still hadn't had the formula. My manifesto was broken. And if I could learn something new that I may have missed before, I was willing to do that. If I can have renewed energy around this process and start to make shit move for me, I was willing to do it. I read all of his books, and what he opened up to me was a plethora of tangible techniques that were not in my conscious awareness at the time. I was being tested, I realized. I was being prepped and shaped for something bigger. I knew that I had a huge amount of potential to do big things in my life and to help tons of people. I was just so stuck in this self-sabotaging and the sadness of my life, in where I was in that place. It created so many blocks around progress. Okay? I do have the gifts, and I know them now, and I do have the ability to create. It was just so new to me back then. I had so much more to learn to enhance my mind. The expansion process had begun, in my opinion. New hope was on the horizon. I could do this. I love a challenge. I'm always learning anyways. And this new learning gifted me with renewed energy to create a better life for myself. There is a big difference between the esoteric, intangible ideas around spirituality woohoo, as opposed to the tangible, practical techniques that are applicable to the average human to get the shift that you desire. Being in this new space of hope and excitement, I began to dive into extensive research around mindset and the power of thought. I was obsessed to get this right and do what the others people do that make life look so pleasant. I wanted that. I had to find the formula that created such great lives for others and do that same thing. And the perpetual torment of my current circumstances was more than enough motivation to buckle down, learn this shit, and become a badass manifester. I had a mind for learning. I still do. I wanted more, and that required education. My work in energy healing evolved. My work with clients went deeper. I could feel the openness in each session vibrating higher as I worked. I was learning to get out of my own damn way. Over the next several years, I created open space. It got so much easier. I understood more and more why it hadn't worked for me in the past. Why others can't create what they want was because of the same challenges that I went through as well. Oftentimes, understanding how you create can spontaneously bring about what you want without really much effort at all. Just this afternoon, I was speaking with my editor about my up-and-coming book. We got to talking about my podcast. and she mentioned reaching out to other healers in my area to enhance my guest speaking. I told her this was a great idea and believed it to be something I would do after our meeting. And while we were chatting, in my mind, I was going to reach out to 3 healers. I made that choice. 3 healers in the community that I already knew. And I was going to make a list of those I do not know and call them this week. This was my mental background messaging manifesto at work while we were chatting. This made me feel excited to connect deeper into the community of the woohoos that I know and don't know, and envisioned some very powerful, interesting conversations coming to me in my near future. And what do you know? You know what happened? After we left our conversation, I got in my truck and I checked my texts after our chat, and there was a text from a client that was ready to speak on my podcast when she gets back into town. She went to a wedding locally and then was going to a meditation retreat in the Springs after that. So when she got back into town from her retreat, she wanted to speak on my podcast. She also mentioned that she met this woman at the wedding. The wedding is locally. And went on a walk with her and was chatting about me with this woman and mentioned my podcast. And this woman took great interest in speaking on my podcast. And she is a healer and herbalist in my local town. So how about that, right? Like, I didn't even put forth any effort there. It was just a thought and a plan and some excitement. You know, you visualize what you want, you put an emotion on it that is a positive one, and it just goes. And once you learn this, keep practicing, and it's super fun. Okay, so this woman is going to meet with me when she connects all 3 of us together. It just aligns, you know, without you even really trying. It's very, very cool. When you are truly mentally and emotionally clear, you may be able to manifest with just a mere thought of it. How cool is that? When the mind is right, it comes easily. And when it's in the flow of what you desire, it just shows up in serendipitous, humorous, magical ways. But first, you need to understand why you cannot manifest in the first place. We are creators. And every one of us has the ability to manifest and create things that are cool in your life. When we get in the way of it, though, the vibration is not in alignment. Therefore, nothing changes. One big way you can block the flow is our own subconscious feeling of not deserving what we want. We all have it in us somewhere. The unconscious mind is part of your mental energy body, which is located within the subconscious mind. You are largely unaware of what is in your unconscious mind. This is where we keep our traumas, our emotional wounds, and core beliefs around our lives. This place tells you stories of your failures, rejections, self-sabotaging and defeating experiences. When you can clear these blocks, you can get very clear on exactly how capable you are and begin to manifest with greater ease. If your life is already grand, then you may not have as much difficulty with creation. Those that are good at manifesting have done their inner child work, have healed their shadow work, and have healed old belief systems. They've created new belief systems that have gotten them what they want and created successes in creation. When you become aware of these beliefs that need changing, you're able to heal those beliefs and create the ones that get you somewhere. You too will have more ease in creating the life that you want. So this unhealed emotional energy can create big problems for us. It is carried within the body and the energy field, in our auric field, The emotional baggage can wreak havoc on our physical bodies and our ability to create. Where the emotional baggage settles in the body can be variable, but it can all be traced back to an emotionally traumatic experience or an environment from your past that felt unsafe and unhealthy for your development. What you absorbed during that time was planted into the unconscious mind and created the core beliefs you have now that block the flow of your creation. There are theories with some research from psychologists and hypnotherapists that before we were even born, we chose our parents and some of the powerful, painful experience we go through in order to evolve in this life and become more empowered over our energy and emotions. If this is really true, and we are really creating before we're born, this goes to show we do have unlimited potential in each life to get cool shit to happen for us. When an event happens to you at an early age, it generally becomes life-altering. You make decisions at that moment about your life. In most cases, this decision is to make sure you do whatever it takes to not have that experience happen again to you, ever. You make these decisions in the subconscious mind, and this creates a kind of sub-personality. This is where this sub-personality is in the background, leading your choices, deciding what your fears are, what blocks sabotage you, and all that does not serve you in a positive way. For example, you really want to travel to another country to experience the culture and the energy there. But you don't go out of fear because your Uncle Joe died in a plane crash when you were little. You never even knew him, but Mom says planes are death traps, so you only travel by car. You'll go through your whole life pining away, watching videos and movies of faraway exotic places, but never get there, because if you fly, you will inevitably crash and burn. Here's another sabotaging message. You love the sea. The ocean calls to you. But you won't go into deep water because you saw Jaws when you were a child, and if you swim in the ocean, you'll be eaten. This means you will go your whole life without feeling the ocean on your skin and allowing the anti-gravity magic of salt water to carry your worries away and heal you. You will just feel a yearning forever and stay landbound. That is really heartbreaking. Here's another example. Your parents fought a lot when you were growing up and you didn't feel much love expressed in your home. You felt like a burden and unwanted, even though that was never directly said to you. This means that you are unlovable, and no matter who you partner with, you will never live up to what you think their expectations of you are. They will forever be unreachable, and you will sabotage every relationship you have. Therefore, the unlovable in you will never find a partner, and you'll die alone. You see how these experiences can F you up for the rest of your life and create all these messages that are not true inside your head that leave you feeling really stuck and sad? Leave you living in a place of fear of all things that would bring you more joy that you really want? That's BS, is it not? The best way to really bypass these messages is to first figure out all of those messages and write them down. Make space on your page in between each comment in step 1 and step 2. You're going to need a few pieces of paper for this. Are you ready? Step 1. Think back to your childhood and the things that your parents, your guardians, family, or friends told you about who you are, who you will be, and who you will not be. Write a list down, and let's just bless their little hearts, though, for not realizing how bad they effed us all up. They did their best according to what they were taught as a child, right? It wasn't all their fault. Now, in the space that you have under each comment in step 1, write down your negative beliefs around these messages. This is step 2. You write down all the BS quietly sabotaging your power to change, the voices in your head and what they say that makes you believe these messages to be true. Get gritty with this. Get uncomfortable. Being honest here with what is. Even in your gut, you know it's false, right? The point of this is to get clear on those subconscious messages and bring them forth to your conscious awareness in order to remove them buggers from your head forever. Step 3. Okay, now we get into the good stuff. Next, under section 2, with all of the comments you've written, write down why each of these statements is a bunch of BS. What is the truth of you as well? Write that down too. Once this is all complete, step 4, under step 3, you will write out the new message that is the right one for the ultimate, most badass version of yourself to get all the glories that you desire. What do you need to say to yourself? What do you need to think, feel, and see change in your now blocked version of you to fully be in the flow of what you want? You have one life, and you deserve to have it rock more than any of your past lives have. You deserve to have all the money, joy, sex, belonging, excitement, thrill, adventure, security, love, and stuff that you want. After you purge your inner demons and remove those obstacles sucking your joy, you will be open to creating some really cool shit to flow to you. You have to believe it, though. You have to want it. Have nothing in the way of deserving it. All energy that tells you no needs to go. Your vibration is high here. Your vibration will align with the good things that will come to you. The mind is powerful in taking from you and keeping you in this tiny, stupid bubble of the familiar. We hate that bubble, right? We want more, right? We have all the longing for something bigger and the vision now for what is ahead of us. See what you want. Pick one thing. Envision it, smell it, touch it, love it, want it, expect it. Get excited for it coming to you soon. Stay open and relaxed and just enjoy the humor along the way of how interesting the universe delivers. Follow the trail of any hints that come along and alignments that are put out right in front of you. Follow every single lead that you get pointing you in that right direction. Take action. Get out of your comfort zone. Look for what terrifies you and do that. The biggest energy of all of this is to make the empowering choice to have new beliefs around all that you are capable of. Stay forward thinking on everything, on what you want. This is what I want, and damn it, I deserve it with 100% belief. I promise, every moment you get out of that stupid box you are currently in, great shit will happen. You will feel it with your energy as alignment takes place. Pay attention to all that gives you clues, that guides you along the way. Have fun with the game. Take the pressure completely off of any timeline or expectation of outcome. Stay light and airy, like a fairy, and see what happens. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next week. That's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for spending the time with me. And don't forget to check the notifications below on my social media links, my YouTube channel with self-care and meditations, as well as my omshantihealing.com website where you can get info on spiritual coaching and my online courses. And as always, if you do enjoy my podcast, don't forget to subscribe or sponsor below. We'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.